Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Alec Parrish. I am a touring drummer, an Ableton operator, and an Ableton show designer based out of Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about importing stems into an Ableton show file. So if you've never done that before, what I'm going to do today is walk you through the process of taking those mixed final stems that you've gotten from a producer or a mix engineer or a mastering engineer, and putting them into an Ableton show file so that your band can use those sounds that you have on the record that you might not be able to reproduce live, so that you can have those in your live show to make it feel like it's a real experience and true to the record that you guys spent so much time developing in the studio. So today we're going to be using a song called One Phone Call by the band called The Night Game. Super excited to be using these stems. They are available on SoundCloud from Martin Johnson. I'm going to be linking those below. So check those out. And if you have Ableton, feel free to open up. I'm using Ableton Live 10, so it might look a little different if you have Live 9. But we're going to be dropping those stems in right now. So why don't you guys go ahead and download those and then we can get started. Alrighty guys, so as you can see here, I have a blank Ableton session. So the first thing that I am going to do is adjust the tempo up here in the top left corner. So the tempo for the song is 147 beats per minute. So I'm going to click on that and hit enter. Then you can see here I have a folder for the song with the stems. So first I'm going to select those, highlight them all by holding down Shift and clicking the bottom. Drag them over here to the audio channel, and if you notice first, right here it shows all of the stems on one channel linearly, so it extends out to the right. We don't want that to happen, and the way that you can drop these all on individual tracks is by holding down the Command key while you're still holding down your mouse left click. Now release that and it'll all show up on individual channels right here. Now let's listen through for just 1 second. Cool. So while this is playing, what I'm going to do now is just position this in the way that I normally set up the sessions. So I normally start with drums, then I go to bass, then I go to guitars, keys, and then vocals. And that's how I normally run my groups, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now.
Back in the old days, the cold days, the southern strife. I was up to no good, out on the hardwood, the lock and the dry. I could trip over my two left feet better than anyone, and I know you think you're alone and up against the gun. I've been where you've been, and thick skin still bleeds. You're not the only one. And if you're ever in trouble, I'll be a one.
Cool. So those are all in place now. What I'm going to do is go in and individually color them according to what I like to group things as. So first I'll do all the drum tracks and effects tracks. Those will be bright red. Next I like to keep my bass stuff in the blue range. So I'm going to do this guy right here. Keys I like to keep. Oh, that actually needs to be below guitars. There we go. So guitars, I like to keep dark blue. Keys, I like to keep purple. Ooh. And the vocals. There's a lot of them here. I'm going to keep all of these green. And then the lead vocal I'll leave teal like that. So there we go. Those are my groups. What you can do, depending on how you like to do things, is group them in like big separate groups. So by highlighting them all and selecting Command G, now I have a group for just the drums. And if I wanted to kill all the drums at the same time, I could mute and unmute that. But for the sake of this video, I am not going to have that. So from the top of this song, now I've got everything very organized and clean in this session. So if we zoom out a little bit to the arrangement, we can actually see, very neat. Love that. Cool. So the next step for this would be to add in your click and your guide and stuff like that. So what I want to do with this first MIDI channel is rename this to location. There we go. So this is going to be my locator track. And what I'm going to do with this is go in and individually create little dummy MIDI clips and name them different sections of the song. So this is going to be the intro section, turn loop off, and then extend that out.
It's been a long day, walking sideways, you're out of your league. Blood on your white shoes, the boys are bad news, that side of the street. You can find the needle in the hay but never learn to walk. If you finally run out of gas so you just want to talk, I've been where you've been, and thick skin still bleeds when it hits the sidewalk. And if you're ever in trouble, I'll be your one phone call. When you're out of the street, you can find the ever in trouble, I'll be your one phone call. When you come out of the darkness, I'm here to break your fall. I know it well 'cause I might have been there once or twice before. In the back of night, I hope you found my front door and through it all. And if you're ever in trouble, I'll be your one phone call. Back in the old days, the cold days, the southern stars, I was up to no good, out on the hardwood, the lock in the jar. I could trip over my two left feet better than anyone, and I know you think you're alone and up against the gun. I've been where you've been, and thick skin still bleeds, you're not the only one. And if you're ever in trouble, I'll be your one phone call. When you come out of the darkness, I'm here to break your fall. I know it well 'cause I might have been there once or twice before. In the back of night, I hope you found my front door and through it all. If you're ever in trouble, I'll be your one phone call. It's been a long day, walking sideways. Blood on your white shoes, the boys are bad news. You can find a needle in the hay but never learn to walk. Well, I'll be your one phone call. If you finally run out of gas or you just wanna talk, let's talk. I'll be your one phone call. If you're ever in trouble, I'll be your one phone call. You come out of the darkness, I'm here to break your fall. I know it well 'cause I might have been there once or twice before. In the back of night, I hope you found my front door.
So all I've been doing is just copy and pasting the different song sections and adding in different things like this instrumental, the bridge. As you've noticed, when I'm pressing play here, there's nothing jumping on this MIDI thing because there's no MIDI instrument or note being activated. This is just a placekeeper for where we are in the song. So instead of adding in the markers like the set, which absolutely works, and we can talk about different arrangement uses for that. Right now we're just using these MIDI things as like, okay, we want to jump back to the chorus, and we can use these for different things later if we're like talking about program changes into a MIDI guitar pedal board or a MIDI keyboard instrument or anything like that. We can use this location-based thing to just quickly recall when we are going to be switching things and where those will be switching. So I'm going to finish this out really quick, and then we will get into pulling out different things for the arrangement. So if you are using this song for live playback, what you are probably going to need is a click track. And there's a couple different ways to do that. You can activate the native click inside Ableton up here by clicking on these two little dots. But I like to use my own little MIDI clip. So what I'm going to do is highlight that, change these two channels to white, by the way, just so that we know they are not actually part of the song in their own little MIDI groups. So I'm going to drag in my own little 4/4 MIDI click right here. Going to change that color to white as well. Drag that out through the rest of the song. So it's going to sound like this. There you go. Now you guys are going to stay locked onto the grid. From here, what we need to do is start deciding what parts of the song need to be in the live arrangement versus what's in the studio arrangement. So for the sake of this video, what I'm going to assume is that you are using a standard 4-piece band. So you're going to have a drummer, you're going to have a guitar player, a bass player, and a keys player. So what would probably happen in this situation is the lead vocalist is going to be playing guitar. So what we can do is pick out the guitar parts that are going to be played by the vocalist or what needs to be in the tracks. So since we have a drummer, we can go ahead and mute this drum channel. Since we have a bass player, we can mute the bass channel. Since we have a guitar player, we'll figure those out. And since we have a keys player, we're going to have to figure out which of these 3 tracks need to be into the backing tracks. And lead vocals, we're going to go ahead and remove those as well. So let's start from the beginning and just listen in to individual sections of what we want to have in the backing track. So for me, that arpeggiation, I feel like this is going to be something that's played by the live keys player. So I'm going to go ahead and separate that section out and deactivate the clip so that it's not being played. These pads, love that. Love those being in the backing tracks. Super ambient, ethereal stuff right here. I'm waiting to hear what this part is right here so that I can figure out if that needs to be in or not. I'm going to go ahead and take this whole synth channel out because I don't think that's something that needs to be in there. That's just a personal discretionary thing. Whoever is running the tracks or whoever is MDing the show, or if you guys are collectively figuring this part out, you can all decide that. But for my sake, I think that's something that needs to not be in the tracks. That's something that needs to be played out front. The ethereal ambient sounds, those can definitely stay in here. These pads right here, those definitely need to be in the tracks. You can play them live and double them and add some different voicings and everything. But I think the synth part should be the main thing that the keyboard player is focusing on here. Love that. All right, let's decide on some guitar parts really quick. So back to the intro. So just first take right here, I feel like these sounds on this guitar, these ka-changs, I feel like they really add a lot to the sound, the depth of this song. So I feel like our guitar player in this situation is going to be doubling that part or adding in different effects himself so that it adds in a lot of depth. So just to listen to it really quick. Yeah, that needs to be in the track for sure. This part probably doesn't need to be in the track. Let's listen to what it sounds like right here. I love that, actually. So what I'm going to do is just select this little section and deactivate those clips. I'm just highlighting and pressing 0 on my keyboard. And to the rest of the song from here, I'm going to deactivate. All right, so we got guitar parts, we got keys parts. Let's listen to some vocals really quick. Huge part. That hey's got to be in there. This vocal stack. You know, these are really important, so what I'm going to do is boost that gain up by like 3 dB so that we can hear them in context. You know, I feel like anything before this point, unnecessary noise. There's going to be vocal effects on the live console, so you don't need to have those in there. I love this vocoder right here. We're going to boost that just by 2 dB really quick, just because that vocoder is very important. Yeah, that's good right there. I love that. Let's listen to this part. Crucial part of the bridge right there. Very vibey. I might leave this in here. Depending on the vocalist, what they want to do, I would either add a little bit of extra effects to make that super wide and fill out the room a little bit, but it just kind of depends on what the vocalist wants to do. I'm going to bury that a little bit, though. Just going to bring it down like 5 dB. Actually, a little bit more than that. Those vocal effects are going to come up. Yeah, that's huge. All right, so let's listen back to one of these choruses really quick. All right, guys, so I feel like that's a very good stopping point. We are going to leave this there and let the song just ride out like that. Any tweaks that you would make in terms of volume or arrangement edits, those are going to be done in rehearsal or with the music director ahead of rehearsal. But for a basic import, you can really narrow it down to what are you going to add to the show by having tracks. Do you want to have the effects in there? Do you want percussion stuff if you're not playing those on drums? Are you using synth bass? Anything like that. You can add and take away anything that you think is relevant to your show or is irrelevant to your show. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please leave a like or comment below if you have any other questions. I'm happy to make some more videos to walk you guys through any and all of the Ableton problems that you might have. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.